Module 5 is operational readiness. So what are the things that matter here?
Yeah, operational readiness is, I guess, a measurement of operational maturity in your business. There's different industries has different ways of um, sort of measuring your operational maturity, and that's all to do with reliance and how autonomous roles are within your business. And do you have a process to run your business? Operational maturity is all about process, documentation of process, and automation within your business. So during our time, the onboarding of new employees actually really showed how operationally mature you were. Because if you could pretty much get them, have a day introducing them to people, and then give them access to documentation for the business, they should be able to read that and refer to it and shouldn't have to ask any questions. Now, obviously you do, but the better process is documented, the better it is, and everyone knows that. And more so now, you will have that in automation as well. So a lot of process can be automated, and that's where some businesses are getting real industry advantage and leader advantage in their use of automation of process. And people say AI, but it's automation of process, I call it. So process documentation is key, or lack of it. Ask the question in your business: how easy, if you've got, for example, even sales executives within your business, how easy would it be for you to onboard that sales guy, and from a marketing, pre-sales, sale contract, and post-sales process, would that salesperson be able to execute his role without just asking people? How easy would it be for that person to do that? Or how easy for a sales order administrator to be able to process an order through your systems? How easy can you refer them to a document that gives them a step-by-step guide to do that? If that's all there, then I'd say, great, you're operationally mature. The more autonomous people can be without asking for authority to go and do things, the less people are involved, the better. It makes you more efficient, makes you more operationally mature. Supplier synergy. So we went through a process where I think for certain products, we had 10 or 12 suppliers. Okay, that's too many, because the process of dealing with 12 suppliers and interacting with their systems is not efficient. So we went through a process of, right, we have this value of business. Let's go to 3 or 4 suppliers, say, right, we have a pot of this business where you probably can't get it down to one. So some businesses could get that down to one supplier. That's then potentially supplier risk. So potentially always have 2 or 3 you could use. But firstly, you'll get synergy in better value from that supplier because you're putting a bit of volume their way. Secondly, it's a lot easier for your team to interact with that supplier because you're building relationships, you're doing more business with them, they're familiar with the processes. If you've got 3 processes or 3 supplier processes rather than 12, it's a hell of a lot easier. So supplier synergy is absolutely key. Are your systems standardized or bespoke? And again, a big thing in industries are some companies think, oh, our USP is our bespoke system that's been developed on SQL database and it's hosted here and it's unique because it's got this. A supplier will run a mile from that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just going, right, so who actually looks after that? Who maintains that? Quite often you'll find it was developed by someone 6-7 years ago and is being maintained either by that person or by someone else who's taken over that role. And people don't want that. What people want is standardized systems, and systems that can easily integrate, or they can easily export information from your core systems to theirs to integrate the business seamlessly. And the quicker that they can do that, the better. So standardized systems integration is key. We used a lot of APIs in our business so that you had a single source of information. So you didn't have 3 different systems with different contact details or different addresses, all things like that. It's the better you can get at single source of data is a sign for me of operation maturity. So yeah, system automation, system standardization is really important. Having up to date infrastructure, and whether that is office buildings, making sure you've invested in your environment, having up-to-date IT systems and networks, having up-to-date assets, again, is key. If companies need to come in, they'll soon be able to see if they need a level of investment in assets and you've underinvested in that area. And they'll also be able to see from your balance sheet and accounts. So again, that shows an operation mature business that's taking a long-term view on their business. Consistent delivery, I think, is key in having KPIs and I don't mean, some people see KPIs and you can have too many KPIs. In certain KPIs, you should be looking at them daily, because that's like number of tickets, or that we're looking at service tickets, or number of sales, or certain things are looked at. So, for me, you've got 3 different dashboards. You've got daily KPIs, you've got weekly KPIs, you've got monthly KPIs, you've got annual budget KPIs. So all those should feed into each other, and they will be different for each individual teams as you go down the business. But you've got to say, are they relevant and what are you doing with them? If you're not taking any action on them, there's no point in having them. If it's not changing your behavior, then what's the point in having them? So an operation mature business has measurability throughout the business, so that it doesn't matter what level you're at or what your role you're in, you can see the impact that you are having on meeting your overall business objectives. So that again shows a level of operational maturity. And I think overall operational maturity is the business running at an optimum level. And again, this is key in terms of having the right headcount to support your business at the point of sale. Because if you can make your business more efficient and cut out resource, you are adding to your EBITDA multiple target. Now, again, during due diligence, companies will look at this and go, oh, right, so you've grown from 5 million to 8 million over the last 3 years, but you haven't added any headcount. How have you managed to do that? If you can show investment in automation and operation maturity, we've done it through this process. Before, that used to be a manual process. Now it's automated. Great. You can justify that. But if you haven't done that, they will go, okay, well, actually, I think you're running stressed, because potentially your absence rate might be creeping up, or those trends. They'll soon see if your business is running at a stress level or not, and whether it's being done in an organized, or is it organized chaos. They'll be able to find that out. So running your business optimally for the number of employees, again, is key. And that all comes from, I think, your level of operational maturity in terms of your organizational chart, your accountability, your process, everyone being very clear of their roles and such like. So higher operational maturity, buyers will pay more for, because it'll be easier to integrate. It'll be easier it might be they want your business to carry on running as it is, but they will add multiples for operational maturity.